Hi, so I'm giving this a quick introduction to Unit 1. I'm re-recording this for summer 2025 here. Um, so this course stays, the structure of this course stays the same, and so you will see some older videos in this course. But one thing that has been changing is the topics and how much we cover. And so, in the last 5 years, machine learning AI has changed a lot. And so I've moved a lot of stuff over, condensed the first part of the course. I guess what used to be the 8-week course is now like we cover that in the first 5 weeks. So we have a couple of weeks to cover the newer material in AI, large language models, transformers, agentic AI, that sort of stuff here. So, but every unit will be basically the same. And again, the structure of the course hasn't really changed. You'll go into a unit, there'll be a unit plan here. So here's the unit 1 plan. You click on that. Here's the unit 1 plan. It's just a Google Doc. There'll be an introductory video. This is what you're watching right now. And then what chapters we'll be covering in the textbook here. And again, you can see we're covering a lot for the first unit. We're covering 3 chapters. So we're condensing this. Now, these are older models, but these are models that are still used a lot. I was just yesterday down in the Twin Cities at a data tech conference. A lot of industry people sharing what they're using as far as data goes. And they are still using a fair amount. And again, there are a lot of talks on the new AI models, but there's still a lot of talks on just traditional regression, decision trees, that sort of stuff. That's very common here. So we want to make sure we cover those. But I also think you may have seen these in other places, so we won't spend so much time on them. So um, you'll have a unit checklist. So for each kind of chapter, there'll be a notebook we'll go over. Now, a notebook is a collab. It's kind of like a Google Doc, but it's written in Python and text and opens up in Google Colab here. And we can run it here. And it will have some text describing it, like here it's talking about the Irish flowers. And then there'll be sections of code you can run here and stuff like that. And you can, run these code values. You've got to run these code values in order. So if I'm running this one later on and haven't run that one earlier on, it could give me an error saying I didn't bring up data. So you have to make sure you do some of this stuff in order for this. You get used to running these ones. There are options to just run the whole notebook here also. And then in each one, there'll be a video walking you through that chapter's material, so you can start with that too. And you'll have to do a write-up for each unit. So you'll go through these notebooks, and then you'll go to this write-up. And this is what you actually will submit, is the write-up. So there'll be sections for each one. So from the chapter 4 notebook, there'll be questions about different things in chapter 4 or in that chapter that you can look at notebook, and same with chapter 5 and chapter 6 here will be here. So you can run through those. Again, because we're covering this relatively fast stuff, we'll cover a fair amount in chapter 4, the overall training models, and then we'll cover a little less in support vector machines and decision trees from these textbooks here. The textbook goes into some math and some theory with these. This is an applied course, so you don't necessarily have to cover it, and we won't focus on those. But again, if you're interested and you find the mathematical explanations helpful and useful, you can certainly work through those. Although I will not necessarily stress them. I have a math background, but I find in these courses that if you are interested in that, you can pick it, you can look through it on your own. Oh, another thing I'll just mention, if you do get stuck on these notebooks, if they're not working, feel free to ask me. But also now Google has AI, Gemini is built into this. And so when you're working on, if you get an error, there'll be have Gemini help and make recommendations on those errors. So there's AI built in these notebooks to help you it'll open up on the side here and you can see different panels and ask questions of the AI to help you if you run issues with those notebooks. Okay, so you try out the code, try out these different models, complete the write-up. And again, often in future chapters, units will often just do maybe 1 or 2 chapters. This one, we're condensing a lot into this. Then we'll do a mini project each time. And again, this will be a notebook you'll open up here. This one is looking at classifying breast cancer data and walking through this. And again, there'll be code that you can run for this. And there'll be an introductory video. I thought, maybe not. Maybe I'll have to add an introductory video to that for this. And then there'll be a write-up for this project with questions that you'll have to do for that. So again, you'll do that. And almost every unit will have a mini project. When we get to the end, we'll do the final project like this. And then there'll be a discussion post. I'll try to update these. If these links don't work, it means I'm pointing to an old course, but that should be updated to go to the current course material. And again, this week's course, we're just going to want you to, talk about some of the new AI, large language models, and discuss those. You have to do 2 posts. You can do an original post by this information, or if you do a reply to a post, you can reply with this sort of information. So post that to the discussion areas. So I'll try to keep those entertaining and fun. I think the discussion areas are some place to have some fun, and with our learning, if you see new stuff, interesting stuff, post it to the discussion area. So, okay, so that's the overview of what you could do. Now, that's in the plan. And then again, in here, there's also links. The discussion is linked right in here. The Unit 1 notebook, this is where you'd submit that assignment here for this. The mini project, this is where you'd submit the mini project in here. Now, in my undergrad course, I teach an undergrad course, and we have the students do explore activities every week. Spend an hour with online activities. We're covering a lot in this course. It's only 8 weeks, so I'm making these optional here. So I will have optional here, these optional explore activities here for this that you can do. I don't have this visible yet because I haven't updated them for this 2025 here. In whatever semester I have, I'll try to update those. But again, those are optional. You won't lose any points. You won't lose grades if you don't do them. You can certainly just skip over them. You have plenty to do, especially in this unit there. But again, if you're just really interested in this, and even after the course is done, if you want to come back and do those are fun things to come back and do later on. They're all little self-tutorials or little badges you can earn, all related to these sorts of topics. Okay. Let's pause this.